though. There are locals that are having a real hard time.
Yeah, they are. They
You
are.
know, let's have that conversation.
We're doing it amongst ourselves.
Yeah, the same locals are the ones
I
showing
don't know
up
if you
to
can
support
see
the
'em.
Haitians.
Pardon me?
I said, because the same locals here, these are the same locals showing up to help their Haitians.
Oh, I guess you can.
You know,
Thank
but
you.
before this topic of the Haitians in this community, there was already a conversation about the lack of resources, about the gentrification, about the food desert, you know?
Yes.
And now, again, sensationalism.
Yes.
We're going to distract you all with a
From
new
what
topic.
you was working for beforehand.
Yeah.
And then they also distracting you from the point that they want to. See, what happened too is when
you're gonna shoot.
We about to move you over. Like,
they wanted to take this area and make it a retirement area.
Yeah.
Every person you talk to in this area, they've had an offer for their home.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And this started before the pandemic.
Yeah.
taking a commuter city. That's why I told them to make it either commuter or retirement.
Retirement.
Retirement, and if you got enough money, you work out of town and you got a high paying job, you need somewhere about an hour away, you come get this.
Retirement,
you know what I'm
the
saying?
baby boomers, because they ruled the tenth of the dollar spent. They did that in Dayton View and Dayton.
Yep.
And my grandmother lives in that area.
They did it in the same company that did it in Atlanta and did it in Cincinnati at I can't think the name of the place. Is the one that wants to do it here. It's the company that wants to do. I got all the paperwork on that.
I know you
I got all of it. I got pictures. I got the architect that they have for the area. I got what they want to do with that area.
You hear what I'm talking? You hear?
I got all of it.
I don't
wanted to sit
move
down
my
and have
microphone
another
down.
meeting. We the type of young folk that plan on doing
And like I
something.
said, and when she got so much for you, bro, that if you really help to ever you want to go on this, she gonna have so much that y'all gonna be talking later or some shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? She got so much.
No, honestly, I'll take my time. I'm just trying. Oh, here it is. Okay. Never mind. Now I can think. I thought I left the garage down. I was like, I don't want to lose that.
I see everything now.
Right.
Oh, okay. So this is good. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm
definitely with the resources that we're starting to tap into, you know, once a group of people are sustained, you know, with the proper resources, then that's when we get to lock arms with others, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And make the type of impact that we seek to impact.
But you know what, too? We need to be falling back into the Haitian pattern. When I was growing up, everybody helped everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody went without eating. You needed a roof on your house, everybody came together and put a roof on your house. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. All right. So what's your name? Marcita. So you're involved in like the local city council here. You go to a lot of the meetings.
I go to every meeting I can make it to.
How would you describe your role in the community?
I don't even know. I guess an informational source.
You're like a neuron connected to everyone else and like share. So you told me that that you go to like a lot of the meetings and stuff like that and try and fill in other people.
Not just there, on the outside too. I own a salon where I can talk to people and let them know and they can pass the work.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Yeah. So what are the kind of the problems you've been hearing, and then what are also some of the solutions they think they've come to?
The main problem, there is a problem with the Haitians driving. But there's 3 or 4 organizations that have come together to give free driving lessons. Those things have been settled at the city council meetings and the NAACP meetings, but these outside people don't want to hear that things are being solved. But there's been meetings to cover everything that they're fighting about right now. And there's been dates set for all these things to open up. But they're not going to open up overnight.
Are they private or are they with the city?
They're with the city and they're private organizations, not really organizations, but people who have come together.
Okay.
There's been, we have I believe he's German from New York. He used to be a police officer. He's setting up an area for teaching the Haitians to drive. There's been so many different places. He's working with the NAACP to do that. But there's been places set up where they can go and take a driver's test now, practicing. There's been several different places set up. So the problem is going to be taken care of. It is being taken care of. But it's going to take time. They're not going to learn it overnight.
So, were they given license when they came here?
No, not right off the bat. No, they had to go through steps too.
But not a driver's test wasn't part of that because it seems they have like to have a license in their own country or something. Or?
Driver's test was part of it to a certain extent, the way I understand it, but I don't know how far the test went. Actually,
okay.
I really don't know how far the test went. But still, if it went from here to there, just like we have to take it, it's still going to take them time. It's just like any 16-year-old getting driver's license. Actually, the Haitians drive more careful than a lot of these white people do. They speed up and down this street, come up in your butt, call your name. You know, when I could tell a Haitian driving, I know to be cautious. And I don't mind slowing down and waiting on them or whatever. Most people don't. But people who haven't been respecting driving anyway, those are the ones that are busted. Those are the ones that are mad about the way they drive. But it's not that big a deal. All you got to do is use common courtesy. They don't use courtesy. Just be courteous.
So are you saying that it's like partly the reason why they're getting more accidents is because they drive more timidly, and then that makes other people mad, and then
most definitely. Now there has been some that where they were drinking.
Oh, okay.
There has been some, but there's a whole lot of people that were already here that have been drinking. Not every one of these accidents are legal. So we have to realize that not every one of these accidents are legal. But the driving is going to be taken care of. That's the thing. Now, what other people are fussing about, I don't understand because I don't see anything else other than some time being taken from them. You know, it might take them longer to stand in line because these people are getting their paperwork or their health care together or going to see a doctor. Yeah, the lines are longer. Yeah, those places need more assistance so that people don't have to wait in line so long. But other than that, the people that are raising all this cane, I can't see a thing being taken from them. They're not losing a dime off their plate. They're not losing their homes because of them. They're losing their homes, their rental homes, because the landlords are greedy. That's not the Haitians' fault. That's not their fault at all. And 99% of them, if you watch them, if you follow them and you watch them, they'll come together in a house and they'll build their money. And they're buying up all these houses that the city wanted to tear down or was getting ready to condemn, and they're fixing them up and making them beautiful. Springfield needed this breath. Springfield was dying. My neighborhood was horrible. It was beautiful at one time. Then the industry went down. And all the so-called people that had money in the north end moved to this end of town, tore up our neighborhood, left. Then our houses were being condemned, or written off, or boarded up, or just sitting there, or somebody waiting on a tax write-off. The Haitians come in, they look at it, they buy it, they go in groups and fix things up. They work together. They have their own little beautiful community. No one goes without. It's just a beautiful thing to see. I love them as neighbors. Absolutely. Since they've been taking over my neighborhood, there's no shootings. There's no cars racing up and down the street. There's kids out in front of their homes playing. They have a dinner hour. I could tell the streets empty out when it's dinner hour. Kids are all around the table. They have birthday parties like everybody else at cookouts, and they're respectful. Their music doesn't go past 11 o'clock. They're friendly. There's not they get up every Sunday, and you can see all the cars up and down the street going to church. I don't know what more you could ask. That neighborhood now is like when I raised my kids in it. It's beautiful again. There's still work to be done, but it is beautiful again. And I'm loving it. And what I'm truly upset about is people like yourself are coming into our Springfield, and you may ask one or two Haitians how they feel. You'll ask a whole bunch of white people what they say, how they feel. But none of them stop to ask people like me and this gentleman over here how we feel about it. It's too much darkness coming into town for them, and that's all it amounts to. They're talking about they're fearful. Anytime 10 black Americans get together on the corner, they get fearful. And that's all it is. All of them are talking about, well, they're throwing trash. I don't see them doing nothing but clean up. Now, if you want to see somebody throw some trash, I can ride you up and down the street. As soon as I point out the first house is theirs, you'll be able to tell which house is which. Just by riding up and down the street, you can tell their houses from everybody else's. You can tell their houses from the Haitians' houses and the Black Americans here. They won't admit that the only problem that they're truly having is these people are black. And they would truly, truly like to put them in a place. And just to be blunt, they would like for them to be the new nigga. Just to be blunt. And I've seen
Like a scapegoat?
not like an scapegoat. It was once said, as long as the poorest of white people have somebody to look down on, they'll always feel superior. And we have been the chosen ones for that job. And now the Haitians have walked into it and they're the chosen. Simple as that.
Do you think that what has been like the influx of Haitians in like the past like 2 years or so?
What do you mean like look like that?
Like population increase?
We're between 15 and 20,000 people, they say at the meeting. I believe it's more, maybe around 15.
We're looking on Google and it says that there is no, you don't see any increase. Actually, the population in the city is decreasing. Is that because of lack of census taking, or is that because
The
like there's
population was
people moving
decreasing.
out at the
The
same time?
population was decreasing when the factories went down. Now they've started building new businesses and factories on the outskirts of town.
What factories were those?
International. International Harvester, which was a trucking company.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the main reasons most of the white people moved back to this side of town, because there was big layoffs and shutdowns, that type of thing. But no, the Haitians have given us a brand new breath of fresh air. And actually, I hope our children will watch it. Because these people are working together like we used to.
Why do you think that happens? Why do you think that's something I also heard that like the Haitians are doing better than the black community here?
I didn't
Which
say
something you
they're
don't
doing
hear
better.
from outside people. That's
I
something I've
didn't
been
say
hearing
that
since.
they're doing better. I said they're working together.
Okay.
They're working together. Right
But
now,
that is better in a way, because all we hear on the news is like, I mean, from people is that
In a
like black
way.
people are killing each other, and then like they're not.
no, nobody's killing anybody.
Okay.
In a way, it's like we have gotten comfortable. Some of us are feeling defeated. Some of us are wearing chains around our ankles, and we don't even know it because we're not making any moves.
Do you think they'll eventually that's a product of the environment here, that the Haitians will also fall into that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. And I think they're actually turning our children around, because I see a difference in our children. And that's another thing, too.
Yeah. That's good.
All the teachers that I talk to, they're saying the teachers are overwhelmed. They're saying the teachers are having problems. Every teacher I've talked to loves the children. They say they're the most polite, helpful children. They really want to learn. They're teaching their parents. They have no problem. I have not had one teacher tell me yet. And I have quite a few teachers that come through my shop. And they have nothing but good things to say about it. This negative that's coming out is from one group of people, and one group of people only.
Displaced whites? Like who
You
want
want
to
to
put
call
their
them
bombs
that?
on something?
I don't think they're displaced.
Okay.
I don't think they're displaced. Because before
Because I never hear, honestly, I don't hear like my dad and all his friends are I don't know what you say. Always calling other white people racist, and he's my dad is wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then when I look at I was looking at videos of the people saying that people out here are eating dogs. They seem like a lot of white people that were not doing very good. Like they seemed
they're
like
not
they were
doing
not.
very
You know what I
good,
mean?
but you know what? Honestly, I feel that's their fault.
Yeah.
Because these jobs were here. And even before the Haitians came, I would get up and go to work every morning and see them still sitting on the front porch. Now, because they didn't want more, and because they got used to where they were and receiving that free money, that's nobody's fault but their own. That's their fault, because they could have been working those jobs. That's their own fault. They're not displaced. They want to be where they are.
Yeah.
they're comfortable.
Right. That's probably a bad word. I was just.
You're not
That's why I was bringing up the idea of the scapegoat, because I do feel like sometimes it's like the most racist people are people who are not doing well, and then they're like I blame you for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
That's
they're like,
just what I said.
yeah, yeah.
That's just what I said.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Like, so, I mean, this is something that came to mind when you were talking about how they're acting polite and nice. Like, I was homeschooled until like 5th grade, and I remember when I first went into 5th grade, like I don't want to call myself a teacher's pet because I have some self-respect, but like I was like the teacher's favorite. Like I always made sure I did everything like correctly on like homework, and that wasn't until like later on, I think in like 6th grade or so, where I was like, well, I would rather be popular. You know what I mean? And then I started getting like actively getting into trouble more and stuff like that. But like at first, I did have that feeling of like well, I'm here, I'm new here, and so I feel like an obligation to like act really right, I guess. And I'm wondering if does that kind of sound like what you see of amongst the immigrants here, that they're like, I'm really grateful to be here. I'm not gonna like act in a way that's gonna get me into trouble, because like why would I do that? You know what I mean?
You know what people don't realize? They're on papers.
Yeah.
They're on papers. If they get in trouble,
Yeah.
they could be shipped out.
Yeah.
Nobody stops to think about that. They're trying their best to walk on eggs to keep from being sent back. They're trying their best to do the right thing, and they're trying to do their best because some of them have left family at home that they would like to get out of that situation. There's been families that have been split, where the father and maybe 2 of the kids have come here, and the mother had to stay home with the kid. Or maybe the whole family might have had left their family, their grandparents behind. They're working hard to help them send money home to them. Yeah, they're a lot more careful with the things that they have to do because they have to walk on eggshells.
So what happened in Haiti recently that caused the migration?
That is something that you're going to have to research yourself.
No, okay, I was just thinking, wait, I should ask questions that are for here.
Let me finish.
Sorry,
Read a book. Like she was saying, they took all of their resources. They went through several storms. And if you look at the ways that they're portraying Springfield now, talking about the Haitians are doing this and doing that and doing that, and every time I cringe every time when I hear them talk about Hades and say that they're gangsters. To me, they're revolutionaries. They're trying to take their land back from a government that has been abusing it and fighting through everything else that they have to fight through, rebuilding after the storms. Nobody's helping them. That's the way I see it. No, I don't see those people as gangs. But the news is going to portray them as gangs.
Better stories.
Better stories. Keep the hate going. Makes them look terrible, like terrible people when they get here. Well, these are gangsters they're letting out on the street.
So, like, I'm wondering, is this like an issue that's happening in a lot of places? And actually, I have 2 questions actually. Like, a lot of the immigrants, are they aware how big of a national conversation suddenly got shown on them suddenly? You know what I mean?
I'm quite sure they do.
Okay, yeah.
But at the same time,
I feel like that'd be stressful. I'd be like, I just got here, and now why they're like, what did I do?
And I'm trying to make them feel as comfortable as possible. Let them know that they are loved here and they are wanted here. That's why I do believe that they're not interviewing people like me, people that have been here all their life, that are my color, because we are welcoming them. There's some of us that don't understand. There's some of us that's not educated. But for the majority of us, we're welcoming them. We want them to know they're welcome. They are our sisters and brothers. The only difference between them and us is one boat stop. One of them could be my cousin.
Yeah. Makes sense. Like, do you what do you think? Is there something? Do you think there's something characteristic about Springfield that made people higher ups, I don't know at what level, like decide that this is going to be a location for immigration?
They didn't decide it. What went out was there was housing here and there was jobs here. They have a hell of a telephone line. What is those old telephone lines called?
Landline.
Not the landline. where you picked up and
Rotary
everybody
dial?
no, where you picked up the phone and everybody was on the line.
Oh, party line.
Party line, yeah.
How do I get that? I'm the young
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, they got a hell of a party line, and that's what happened. We had, first of all, okay, in my experience, I had a neighbor that came in, bought a house, Haitian. He was from New York. He had been a policeman in New York. He's done well here. I don't want to tell too much of his business because I don't want to do too much. But if he's doing well here, why wouldn't he call his family and say, hey, houses are cheaper here, you can rent here, you can buy here? Because before they were doing it, I was trying to get my family to come down here and buy some of these houses and fix them up too. If nothing else, hold on to the land. Just hold on to the land. So why wouldn't they call somebody else and say, hey, you can get a job here, you can get a house here, it's a small town, kids can get a decent education, nobody's saying nothing? That's how I think they ended up here. Nobody was dropping in here off of buses. If you look at the license plates when they first got here, the license plates were from California, New York, Florida. They were from everywhere.
So a lot of indigenous immigrants in the past couple of years, it's that like I don't know, there were the right circumstances here where people said, hey, this is like a good promised land.
This is a good place to start.
Yeah.
This is a good place to start.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I guess that makes sense. Especially, I feel like if you're in like I used to work. My first job was making sushi, and like the guy. He was from Burma. I feel like he knew like just a ton of people from Burma who lived far away, like 4 hours away. You know what I mean? You could just call them up, and it's like, well, how do you know them? And it's like, this is none of us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that makes sense. What other issues get raised? Do you have a lot of people that you think are bringing up? Like the not like has there been with the recent attention? Has there been a lot of like more craziness happening?
Oh, with
Like the city hall meetings or something like that.
the KKK meetings.
I heard
here
like,
and
yeah.
the Proud Boys here. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if I should say this or not. But I think like the last city commission meeting, I think there was an episode that was getting ready to happen. And I think it was going to be a terrible episode. But the person he got scared off. But I really believe that man was getting ready to do something.
Was he a resident here?
I don't know who he was. I had never seen him before.
Okay.
But I think that he was getting ready to do something down here. And there's a lot of stuff I have on that I might not want to say. There's a lot of things I have on that.
Are you worried that like that the attention, over the attention, is going to create more tension?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
But there will be a show of power on both sides. They're showing their power. They don't want us to show our power. They really don't want us. We have been sitting back and trying to talk to them, and I've tried to talk to them at the meetings. Months ago, I stood up and I told them, I'm feeling hatred coming in. And I told them, I feel us sliding backwards, and I refuse to go backwards. I told them how I remember when there was places that I couldn't go. Do you know that there were carnivals and fairs and places like Kings Island that black folks could only go to one day out of the year? Yeah, there were places like that. And I remember going to them that one day out of the year. And I remember coming home from that place and saying, Mommy, why can't we go again? Why can't we go again? She would never tell me. Hey, you just can't go. We'll go again next year. I went down to visit that place. And that's when I found out, because my mother protected me from a lot of things, but that's when I found out that one day was nigger day. And that's when all the niggers was allowed to come. We weren't allowed to buy food or anything, but we were allowed to go and ride the rides. We could buy cotton candy and a soda. Couldn't get hot dogs or anything. But I remember days like that. I remember days right here when we couldn't go into the theater. And then there was a time when we could go into the balcony. I can remember a time when we couldn't go swimming here. And I see us sliding back. when Trump first ran, I stood at a meeting. We were supposed to vote the very next day. That night, the clock was going to fall backwards an hour. And I was asked to stand up. I got some little silly award or something. It wasn't silly, I shouldn't say that. But I got some award, and I stood up and I said, and I don't know where those words came from, but I said, you know the clock falls back an hour tonight, but if you don't get out and vote tomorrow, we will fall back 300 years. And here we are, sliding back. Women are losing their rights. They're trying to take us, rewrite some of these laws or bring some of these old laws back. I can't call them right now. But all of that is going to affect mainly people of color.
I'm not a big abortion fan, to be honest.
Well, you don't have to be. But it's a woman's right to make a decision.
I know. They're also placed in, I mean, I don't know what the kid is, but like,
Yeah, I
they're
know
also
they're
placed, they're perfectly placed in fucking neighborhoods for population control.
Margaret, what's her name? Margaret Sanger? Yeah, she was ahead of all of that. I've read all about her too. Yeah, that was the plan. Was we were like insects, multiplied.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we all know about it. But you still should be able to make a choice.
I get you.
It could be a life or death matter. It could be a woman that just knows for a fact that she cannot handle another child. It could be anything. You know, you could be against abortion, but nobody says, okay, you're going to make this woman have this baby. Who's going to feed the baby? Once the baby gets here, y'all gone. The government is gone. Who's going to make sure this baby gets a good education? People don't think things through. You're going to force us to do something and then dump us. That don't make sense.
I mean, I think that like, I mean, I guess I think it's always parents' responsibility to take care of their children. Is the way I think about it. I don't have any children yet, so I know that's crazy.
But you got to
like,
make sure that
really
you got to make sure that we can get good jobs. You got to make sure we have access to health care. Yeah, that's our job. It's our job.
I get you. No, and I think maybe a big problem with that.
You got to make sure you ain't living in a food desert.
Yeah. No, that is hard. I guess I also think about I think that like I always think my grandparents had it much harder, and that like I feel like if I can do it, if they could do it, I can probably do it.
I bet I'm the same age as your grandparents.
My grandparents have passed away.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I never met. I only met my grandmother, but she had pretty serious Alzheimer's by the time I was around her, so I didn't really get to know her that well. My parents are both in their 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the youngest of 5.
Well, I'm older than your parents then.
Okay. You look young.
Yeah, because I got the mask on.
Oh, you're fine. yeah. But yeah, mom was born in 64. So, but yeah, she also disagrees with me on abortion, though, too. I don't know. Do you resent? Not resent. I don't know what the word is, but feel. How do you feel about young people who might not take the threat of racism as seriously because maybe they haven't lived it?
They will. They will. I mean, what's happening here in Springfield right now is teaching.
Yeah.
I've always talked to children around me about it.
But I guess when you're saying like taking time back, I'm saying on like on a legislative level as well, because I've experienced. I mean, like I've been called a nigger. I've been called saying I shouldn't go to school. A lot of things, you know what I mean? Like, it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant. It gets your blood boiling, and then you want to hit them, but it's like, no, if I hit them, that's exactly what they want, because then they can say, well, you lost control, and just stuff like that, and like, I don't know. So, like, those are the paradoxes are, like, fun. But I'm not as concerned about things going back in a legal sense. I think that I can definitely, I think that there's a lot of racial tension that I don't like, and I feel like as a mixed person, I feel like I almost blame everyone a little bit for it. Like, you know what I mean? Even myself. But like,
Yeah, I bet you
but
are
I'm saying,
confused.
but like, yeah, well, as a person who lived through an actual system that was like genuinely one-sided and repressive, you know what I mean? There was like, I mean, you couldn't go to the fair. You'd be arrested if you went to the fair. That was the law. Like, how does what I'm saying strike you? I guess. Do you think I come off as naive?
To a certain extent, yes.
Okay. Okay. Like. Okay. I know things can go terrible. By the way, I know things can go terrible. Like I'm convinced that the government watches me all the time for reasons that are probably crazy.
You're not by yourself, and you won't be crazy either thinking that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, well, you know, obviously, they, you know, they have satellites everywhere. They can watch anything all the time if they wanted to. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to figure out. I will say that like my perspectives have changed a lot growing up. I don't know. This is an interview with me. I don't know I'm talking about this. I guess what would you say on which front do you think of things have improved the most, and which fronts do you think it's still the worst? Do you think it's better in a legal sense, but you feel the social pressure coming back in a way that could
It's not just the social pressure. It's legally too. Have you read Project 2025? That's a real thing.
So what are the
That is
worst
a
in
real
there?
thing.
Because I don't know of any person that's running for office who actually supports it.
You don't know of anybody?
No. No.
What about Trump?
He doesn't
One.
support Project 2025.
Oh, but he does.
So which
What he
policies
did
are
is
there?
he changed the name of it and called it 47.
So what are the similar policies that he's putting forward that are also in Project 2025? And honestly, I don't know what's in Project.
Everything
Because I
is
figured
in
this sounds like
22.
seems like a political
Everything
hedgehog
is
thing.
what's
I
in
just didn't pay attention.
2025 is in 47. It's just to cover his change.
So what are the things in Project 2025?
Oh Lord Jesus.
No, I'm being serious. I don't know. Like, there are things that Kam was for that absolutely scared me. I'm not for federalizing the voting system. I'm like, I don't want to give you guys power for voting at all. I'd rather the states do it and fuck it up.
My blood pressure just went up. I'm getting dizzy.
I'm sorry. Sorry. No, I'm actually being serious. I heard say things involve tracking abortions and tracking people's pregnancies. That's the only thing I've heard for 2025 that I know it's in.
You have a phone?
I do.
Okay, before you go to bed tonight, pull it up on your phone and start going through it.
Okay.
Start going through it.
If I find, I feel like I'm likely to find out that a lot of the stuff there are positions that Trump hasn't stated and doesn't state.
I don't think you'll find it.
I mean, because okay, I don't know. I've heard him say that
He's
he
already
doesn't
got people
like.
in position to do things, and they're already changing things already.
Okay.
Already at this point. Just go. You have to do some research on your own.
No, I mean I do research, but like there are some things like I can't research everything, and
No,
2025 seems like it's something. It's like I also hear people talk about like it reminds me of the idea of like trickle down economics, and people saying that like like Republicans just want trickle down economics. Like trickle down economics is not like a word you'll ever read in an economics book, or any Republican who knows about economics, you'll never hear them say the word trickle down economics because that's just a misunderstanding about how money works. And I feel like some people make arguments. What's a version of that on the other side? I don't know. Both sides I feel like do this thing where they try and target the other side with beliefs that the other side doesn't hold. You know what I mean? And so I'd rather focus on like specific things that are part of Trump's like agenda or Kamala's agenda, I guess.
I just gave you a book.
Which book? Sorry.
2025.
There's a book on Project 2025. I mean, could I just read the policy proposal, or is that like kind of unfolding? Okay, this is the Project 2025 is like a seed, and the book is like this will unfold further from it being in place. Okay. Honestly, like I said, I get well, whatever. My opinion about what the origins of 2025 are don't matter. I don't even know who made it. And I just heard.
Well, we can't talk about this. We can't talk about that.
Why?
You don't even know who made it. You don't know anything about it.
Oh, I've heard the list of names who made it. I'm like, these are no name people I've never heard of before. So I just, and honestly, I still, like I said, I only hear, I wish I could know a specific policy proposal that's in there. The only stuff I heard that Kamala talk about was the stuff about tracking women's abortions. And then people say that it's like the platform of a dictator. And I'm like, I wish people would explain exactly why.
Nobody can explain it to you. You have to read it for yourself. You shouldn't let anybody explain anything. You should let somebody direct you to that point, and you do your own research. Then you can make up your own mind.
Okay.
That's what's happening down here at the city council meetings. Ain't nobody reading a book or trying to be
I
at
read
the
books,
meeting.
but like
I'm not
I feel like
saying.
it's unlikely to be in place. I mean, because like he said, every time someone asks him about it, he's like, I haven't read it. From what I've heard, I hear a lot of bad stuff and some things I like, but no, I don't. That sounds terrible. Is what he usually says.
All right.
I don't know.
All right.
Does that sound? And I'm wondering, like, is there like a kernel of is there a kernel?
Let me
of
ask you
anything that
something.
you can share?
When has Trump ever told the truth about anything?
I mean,
What do you think? I mean, give me one truth.
one truth.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's not. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. I guess. Okay. I do have to think of. I could think. It's more easily for me to think of things that people said that weren't true that he said of him that weren't true that turned out to be that are. So like one of the things that during the debate was that like I know Kamala Harris brought up his line about there are good people on both sides line that he said in Charlottesville, and if you actually watch the tape right after that and before that, he says I'm not talking about the Nazis. And so everyone tars that line of saying that he said there are good people on both sides, including the Nazis. And in the speech, he says, "No, by the way, I'm not talking about Nazis or white supremacists. They should be condemned totally." But there are
He's
good.
never condemned them.
No, he does. There's like hour-long footage of it. Like he's minute-long footage of him condemning it. It just doesn't get. Like our media is so partisan, they don't show anything of the other side.
I'll go home and pull it up if it's there.
Yeah, I can like text you guys.
I can remember sitting there that day.
Yeah.
I can remember sitting there that day.
I've watched the whole speech like twice, I think, because I showed other people that didn't believe that like also were like, no way he said that. And I'm like, yeah, but yeah, like I don't know. So, I mean, what's a thing that he said that's true? Oh, that he wasn't that he didn't collude with the Russians. I did a whole thing, like everything about that whole story was essentially all the major like pieces of evidence were essentially paid for by Hillary Clinton in that case. There was it came from her lawyer named Michael Sussman, and essentially the FBI were actually paying a guy who was under investigation for being a Russian spy, regardless. But that guy tangentially was being paid also by Hillary Clinton by her law firm, just making up a bunch of stuff.
Okay, now you need to go back and read Behold the Pale Horse.
What's that?
It's another book that you go read. Behold the Pale Horse.
Okay. What's it about?
It'll explain away everything that you just said.
I read the Durham and Mueller report in depth, and I read like including the bottom footnotes and everything.
Pale Horse.
Okay.
Now let's get back to Springfield.
Yeah. You have to talk about things. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to ask me about Springfield?
So I guess I was just honestly, is there anything that you want to share in particular, like that's going on?
No. I see a difference being made in the different cultures that are coming here because we slowly and surely have other cultures that are coming here that are taking over all of what used to be our small businesses all up and down this street. Every drive-through, every small store, grocery stores are all by other cultures, and nobody's raising Cain about that. Our hair salon, supply shops, everything. I mean, restaurants, and nobody is saying anything about these people coming in and doing this. Nobody was saying anything about them, which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad about at all. But when they came in here, they had to stay 10 in the house too. They had to do what they had to do. Some of them even slept in the back of their restaurants until they could get on their feet. I ain't mad at them. You do what you have to do.
My car. Yeah.
You do what you have to do. But because these Haitians are coming in, everybody's upset.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with anything but the color of their skin. Nothing to do with anything. They haven't hurt a soul here. Yes, there was a car accident where a car hit a school bus, which was a very terrible accident. But accidents happen. I was sitting in that building right across the street when 3 little girls got hit over here, right here on this corner. 3 little girls. A white man comes driving down the street, speeding. They were still on the corner on their bikes. Got knocked into the middle of the street, and he hit that building and knocked it off its foundation. I'm standing in the window watching it. I'm the first one at his truck. I told the police things about that truck. I'm the first one to the girls. I'm watching these girls. This one young lady, little young girl, her teeth were dripping down her throat. And nobody's upset because he got off. He got a smack on the hand and
He
gone.
walked.
He walked.
He was related to who downtown? He's related.
He was related to one of the judges or something. That's been a minute ago. My memory ain't what it used to be. But he was related to somewhere. He got a smack on the hand and they got him out of town. None of those people that are raising Cain about that little boy, and I don't want to take nothing away from that little boy. None of those people were here. They talk about where their kids don't want to get on the bus no more. It's been ages since I've seen kids walk down this street other than to go to school, to go to the parking place. You just don't see kids riding their bikes to the park anymore. So we've got our things over here too. But we didn't come after all the white people because of one guy. Even though he got to walk.
What was the, do you know what the excuse was, or did he not say anything as far as you know?
What, his excuse for hitting the little girls?
Yeah.
He said he went to sleep.
He fell asleep. Why is that a reasonable excuse? I'm not asking you why that's a reasonable excuse. I'm asking why anyone would take that. Is it because
it's not a reasonable excuse, and that's not actually what happened. Like I said, I was the first one at the truck. The truck that hit the thing. I was the first one to look down into that truck. Do you think they came and asked me anything? I went down there and filled out papers on my own. Do you think I ever heard anything from the police or any of the judges or the prosecutors or anything?
how is he able to get off?
Friends and family.
Did anyone press charges, or is that just not something? I know bad things have happened to you before. And like, I don't
They
even
pressed
know. I
charges
can't
on
afford
him,
a lawyer.
and they pressed charges on him and friends and family.
So that's straight up a power dynamic thing to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in the case of the school bus? What happened with that?
The Haitian, the sun blinded him.
Is he being prosecuted?
Oh, to the fullest. To the fullest.
Has anyone been bringing up that hypocrisy besides you?
No, nobody brought it up. But I know you saw where the parents had forgiven the Haitian. I know where you saw the parents that said that they almost wish it was a 67-year-old white man that hit his child. What does that tell you?
Wait. Were the kids? You're saying that the black kids that the man hit, were they Haitian?
No.
Okay.
They were black children.
Okay, yeah.
3 little black girls on the sidewalk riding their bike to the park.
One of them was vegetated for years, and she died 2 years ago. She was in a vegetable state.
How did he get away with it? I mean, I know how you told me, but like, I'm actually, that's.
It doesn't make any sense. There's
Yeah.
no really logical way, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing that has anything to do with anything moral.
Yeah.
Any moral code. It's privilege.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to spit.
Privilege and selection.
Yeah.
Natural selection according to the according
That's
to
not
who got the
natural.
power
That's
around
satanic.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe it. Yeah, whatever.
I'm just saying, there's really no way to really. We don't know exactly what happened in the back office for it to disappear. We don't know that. But that type of stuff happen all the time.
Yeah.
look the other way, you know.
Yeah.
It happened. That's exactly what happened. My grandmother was here, and when they got hit, they went out there. It was a mess. The guy walked.
He walked. Those bikes were twisted together.
It was a mess. And that house is knocked. That house on the corner, he knocked it off the foundation. That's how
But
hard he slammed into it. That house on the corner's caved in on the other side,
Yeah,
where he knocked it off the foundation.
That one on this side right
The
here?
one right here on the other side of it is completely caved in.
But he hit.
If you look on the front porch is lifted up like a limp.
That's
Go
how
around the
hard
front,
he hit it.
you'll
But
see it lifted.
he
That's
hit
from where
a
he hit.
cement
Was this,
bench
when was
first.
this?
He hit a
Early
cement
2000s.
bench.
What was that?
I don't. Maybe I told you.
It's early 2000s.
I'm dizzy already.
Like
My
early
blood pressure's
2000s.
up.
I just got back.
But he hit a cement bench first, bus stop bench. Then he hit a newspaper, where you used to buy the newspapers out of. He hit that, and those girls was right on that corner. He knocked them clean to the middle of the street. I stood right there and watched it. I saw him from the stoplight. From the stoplight. Zooming down the street, up onto the sidewalk, and then all of a sudden the girls just disappeared. It happened so fast, I actually thought the girls had gotten out of the way.
Came from the bar up the street. There's some bars up the street. He was drunk too.
Now, I'm not gonna say that on, but I saw some things. Put it that way. In that truck, I went over to the truck, looked down inside the truck, because I had thought the girls had got away. I thought it was just him. So I went over to the truck first, and then I looked back and saw the girls.
The point is, ain't nobody making the fuss the same way.
There you go. Thank you.
Bring it back to the point.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's a bigger issue here.
Yeah.
The people.
And you're saying a microcosm of this situation right here, as far as everyone talking about this Springfield in the context of Haitian immigration, and yet there are tons of problems like that no one knows.
And they want to keep hollering that it's not racial. But when they get down to those city meetings, committee meetings, they're standing up hollering, send them back where they came from. Race car, race car. I'm like, what is that? If that's not racist.
I literally just had somebody I went to school with that just posted their car broke down in the middle of the street and they were pushing it out the street, and some people said, yeah, everybody yelling, learn how to drive, go back to Haiti. We went to school together here in Springfield. It goes back to what I was telling you earlier. All they see is black.
That's it.
They see black. They don't know nothing about seeing anything different.
That's the thing about racism. It's like it's worse than like any other divide because like you know what I mean. I see you.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's absolute.
Yeah.
It's absolute.
Yeah.
There is no
I've had
division
them do
based
that.
on race.
I even got one lady fired from her job. Because what I keep telling people, y'all can't tell me from the Haitians until I open my mouth.
Right.
You can't tell me from the Haitians. I had a woman that acted a nut in the grocery store cashier. I had to get her fired. I had some of them rush up into my butt when I'm driving. Them, white people, rush up into my butt, almost cause an accident, and then drive around me and holler nigger. You know, all this is back. We are falling backwards.
Remember that white man I ran off to pull the gun on you? Pull the gun on you.
Yeah, pull the gun on me.
I went over there
In
beating
front
him.
of
I made
my
him
own
bleed out.
house. It's, I'm not going back. I am old enough to know that I ain't got too much to lose. I'm not going back. I'm going to fight all the way. I'm going to teach, I'm going to speak, and I'm going to fight. Simple as that.
So if you could say, like, full disclosure, like this is likely, because of some weird things that happened to me last year, like this is likely to probably be seen by a lot of people. If you could have like some important things to say, like to a lot of people right before the election, what would that be? Like, you can think about it.
Right before the election?
Yeah. I know, this is hard.
Yes, because there's so much to cover.
I know. Sorry. You can talk about other things. I mean, you can make it a long answer.
So much to cover.
I'm glad you brought up that story.
So much to cover. All I could really tell them is make sure you vote so we don't fall back another 300 years. Because we will definitely be sliding back according to Project 2025, according to Project 47, according to the changes that are being made now. And I would also tell them, don't just vote in the larger elections. Start voting from dog catcher all the way up. These smaller ones are where our strength is. We've got to get people in office that'll work for us. We've got to get people in office that'll go and talk to the president on our behalf. Don't forget to vote for the dog catcher. That's probably what I would tell them.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And I think people probably care about too much about what's going on in a random small city in the middle of nowhere that they have nothing to do with, you know. And I think that I think social media has a lot to do with that. You know what I mean? I think it's
Yeah.
it's.
I knew it was going to go that way when that woman stood in the city commission meeting and told that lie. I knew it was going to blow up like that when she stood up there and told that daggone lie. She had been there several other times. Go back and look at some of the other city commission meetings. There's 3 particular people, and 2 of them have made Fox News now. 3 particular people that have really stirred the pot. Go back and look at the tapes on that. Go to YouTube, pull it up. But there's 3 to, and I might be getting myself in trouble on this one.
You got the mask.
Everybody knows I wear a mask. I wear a mask every day.
I can blow your face.
Everybody knows me. They'll know me. They'll know who's talking. I might get in trouble for this one. I'm going to say it anyway. I don't even think I told you yet, Brandon. The last city commission meeting we went to, the 2 before that, they had been doing a head count because it had been filling up so much. So they had little clickers standing in the door, you know, just clicking people in. And of course, we always had several police down there. But this time, you know, we have to start outside the door, and the line is kind of long. And it took us almost 20 minutes to get up to the door. And I told the lady that was with me, you know, I don't hear the clicker. You know, it's taken me quite a while to, you know, get us through the line, but I don't hear the clicker going. I've got pretty good hearing. And so we take a couple of steps up, and this is a gentleman in front of me, a tall white man. He has a brown bag to his side. It looks like one of the postal bags. And he's standing there now. Everybody in the line is talking to everybody. Everybody's having conversations. You know, either they're arguing with each other or they're supporting each other or whatever, but he's the only person that's not talking. See, I've had 21 years in the military, so I know to be aware.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. So I'm aware of this man. I'm very aware of this man. The flap of his bag was turned towards his body, and he's standing there. I'm watching him move forward. 7 people back, and I'm behind him. I hear the whine, you know, that they do over your body to see if you have a weapon. First time they did that. So I hunched the lady beside me. I said, they're not doing the clicker, they're doing the whine. You see, notice the police? She said, yeah. We get 3 people from the door, and he sees the whine there. But before we get to the door, when we're at that 7 point, he takes his hand, takes the bag, opens it up, and starts moving forward. He didn't reach into it or anything. He just opened up the bag. So he walks on up. He sees the wand. He leaves that line with the quickness. He didn't turn around. Now, you done stood in line all this time. You're not going to turn around and say my place, or, you know, act like you're taking a telephone call or something. All of a sudden, he never picked up his phone. There was no reason for him to leave that line, and I mean, he turned and went out of there. He went straight on out of the building. So of course I told the police what I saw, because that man was coming into that building to do something. Now, it was awful funny to me when we were on the outside of the building. One of the people, one of the women, was circling the building in her car. Like I said, I'm very observant. She's just circling the building. I'm like, she just missed me. She's hollering out her window, you know, telling people, keep the good fight up, everything. You know, she's riding around the building. I get inside. The second woman, she's there, but she's outside the building also. She's walking back and forth in front of the windows. The third person that was supposed to come in there, he didn't come in until the first portion was almost over. It would have been over. Matter of fact, they were announcing that it was over when he came in the door. Now, why were all three of those people missing from the meeting? They were there. I spotted them. We had an overabundance of police at that time. More police there than we ever had.
Do you think they were planning something?
I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, no, I get you.
I'm just giving you
Do you
food
think
for
that they
thought.
got tipped in about something?
I'm giving you food for thought.
Okay, yeah.
Sure was suspicious.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm giving you food for thought. Now, these people,
Is there a lot of hatred towards the city council, but people feel like that they're responsible for the situation? Enough.
they feel like they are. And that's because, like I said, they haven't read a book either. The city council is doing all they can do. I don't particularly care for the people of the city council, but I know they're doing all they can do. They're doing everything legally that they can do. They have talked to the people. They have been trying to bring in more resources for the health situation, for rocking horse. I know that they're doing what they're supposed to do, what they can do. But like I said, I don't particularly have to love them or anything, but I know that they're doing what they can do. This is not their fault. They're taking and blaming the wrong people. They got to go up higher in the food chain if they want to blame somebody. But if they really knew who to blame, they would take it to Washington, D.C. and tell them to get their hands off of Haiti's resources. And that's the way it goes up the chain. That's why those people are here in the first place.
Yeah, it's not an even trade. They're losing in the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? I mean, I can research this on myself because I know there is something going on there. Are you saying that there are people extracting Haiti's resources and then not giving them money for them, basically enough money?
That's the model all over the world, ain't it?
Isn't it?
What nation is that?
It's all.
I mean, I know. It's the United States.
Yeah, we can't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
France.
Yeah.
you can look into it and find exactly who, but that's
Right,
a model
you
that's
can.
always worked all over the world.
And
Yeah.
that's where you go back to the
You know
pale
what I mean?
horse.
Yeah.
It's either I kill all y'all or this place y'all.
I think I think they outright said that that's partly what's happening in Ukraine. It's like, well,
It
it was
is.
Lindsey Graham that said we're going to be there. We want to live through the war. And think about this: they have so much oil. They can get all that good Russian oil. It's like, oh yeah,
And if
I
it's
know.
not oil,
Yeah.
they want the land, you know.
Yeah. I heard someone say recently, how did our oil get under your country? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
The accident was July 12th, 2002.
Was it?
Tristan Williams died in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article posted in 2007, but they left the guy's name out of it because it was showing that she was still in the vegetative state in 2007.
You know,
but
to
she
me-
died in 2014.
To me, since she passed, he should be brought up on
He
charges.
should be brought up on
again.
murder charges, but he skated.
He should be
Like
brought
I
up
said,
on
if you
charges
walk,
again.
walk to this corner, you'll see where the foundation is lifted up.
What's his, I mean, you'll have to.
It's not showing his name. They're just calling him the driver.
Mm-hmm.
They're protecting.
Okay.
Even when they revisited it back in 2007, they just said the driver of the SUV.
You guys might have given me another story.
I already took a picture of the article. I already screenshot it. I might have sent it to you.
Please, yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean,
There's a picture of her laying there, you know, in the hospital bed.
yeah.
Vegetate.
That was a terrible sight. You
I
know.
got it. I'm gonna send it to you right now while we sitting here.
That's
You said
something
there
I would
were
never
three
forget.
families
phone
involved. How are they treating this? Do you know where they're at with that?
The three families? No, I don't know where
Nothing
they
they can do about it.
I know that there was people that was helping them, and the different churches were coming together. And
I plotted to kill people who have done less to me.
Right.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying I got far through the plot, but I'm just saying, like, you know, like if you threaten my family, I'm not cool with
Oh, he
that.
skated. He wasn't just riding around. He was, you know.
Yeah, they got him out of town. They
Yeah.
got him out.
Go.
They got him out.
Okay.
That's something I'll never forget.
Yeah. I won't forget that either.
You didn't hear any. There was no uproar besides the little South Side. You know.
Yeah.
That was it. Nobody else cared.
Yeah.
So are you guys cool if I use all this? Like, is there anything I need to edit out, like names or anything
I
like
said
that?
it now. I'm in trouble already.
Let it be. No, that's what I think. Yeah.
I tried to work around all
You
that.
speak
I'm
on it.
listening very closely. You gave the scenario.
Thank
Gave
you.
food for thought.
Yeah.
You should definitely go look up Project 2025, and Project 47.
Okay, I will.
Definitely.
We're talking about the opportunity zone. We're talking about take the name brand out of it.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, leave my Brandon. I'm Brandon Trust, man.
All right. Yeah.
We talk this
We
whole
together,
topic.
so whatever. You know what I'm saying?
This whole topic that's
We're this together.
it's a national / global agenda.
You know, I've heard Trump
And
brag
we're
about
talking
opportunity
about-
zones a
no,
lot.
We're talking about the family structure being destroyed for the
Yes.
diverse families. People of color.
But that's
We
nothing
talking
new. They've
Jim
been doing it
Crow.
all.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We're rolling back. We are rolling
That
back.
includes you, my brother.
Instead of go back to Africa, like I just
They
said, one of
gonna
my.
take that hair of yours.
It's like keep it. No, it was
My
long
friend-
before.
my friend-
Yeah. It's like I go and shave it off bald.
You're not.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like me.
1 hour ago, they just told
No,
my friend go
listen,
back
my
to
dad-
Haiti. Instead of go back to Africa, now it's go back to Haiti.
Yeah.
So Jim Crow, it was go back to Africa. They still didn't know where the hell you was from. You be right here from the source.
What they're saying
What's
to
your
the
black? So they
Haitians
just
now
associate
is
you with
nothing
wherever they
to do
want the niggas to go back to at that time.
No, my dad's family got here later than I think most black families actually.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I use an example often. I love cartoons because they love to get them young.
Yeah.
I'm still young. I'm 40 next year.
Dude, you guys both look fucking very young. Yeah. So do
I
yeah,
love
my
the
family.
movie A Bug's Life.
I do. I was just talking about that with my roommates. I was surprised of all the remakes they never did remakes.
We're waiting. It's gonna be
Yeah.
one ant that's gonna make that difference. There's a couple of single ants, but that movie only focused on one column.
Man, they knocked them
And
down.
that's what I
They
like
kill us.
too about. Now I don't know if y'all noticed, but that's what I like about the Haitians because they got their own ants, but ours are starting to look at them. Now, have you noticed? Now, it might be that I'm at this age and I don't know styles and stuff, but have you noticed the men's pants coming up?
What do you mean, like a higher wearing pants higher?
Yeah, they wear them high.
I got a belt on. I never thought I'd be doing that
Wear
like a
them
long
high.
time ago.
But the drooping is disappearing. Now, is that a style thing or is it respect coming back?
I don't know.
Both.
Probably, yeah.
See, I don't know the
Respect
difference
is in the
between
style.
Haitians
But we're talking about the impression of trends, the influence.
I actually don't have many
Because back
outfits.
in the
This is
70s,
why
bell
I
bottoms
dress
and tight
kind
pants
of
were a thing, but
ridiculously.
the men were still masculine.
Yes.
So we've been talking about the agenda of emasculating our men.
Right.
Yeah.
They already took them out the house, now they want them feminine.
Yeah. No,
That's
my
another
brother's talking
conversation.
about it. It's like, have you noticed that like almost all the time when you see TV, like how like more like gay like black guys there are than any other demographic.
They're not even
He was
gonna
like,
hide you.
yeah. My brother, he like at the time, like he might have been more normal, but like he was like on some shit where like he like had like a psychotic break and then came back with a bunch of like crazy insights. But that was one of the things he was talking about. He's like, bro, they're trying to turn black people into women, and I was like,
Nah, it's like this.
wait a minute.
As a black,
Yeah.
as like us, they, if you notice, when you go to a lot of jobs, if they're going to appoint somebody to supervisor and give them power, it's a gay black man.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about them taking their
Because
women.
I think it's a dominance thing.
The same reason why they snipped George Washington Carver.
Yeah.
The
Wait,
same
what?
reason why they snipped him.
Snipped what?
They cut his balls off.
Whose balls?
George Washington Carver, his owners.
Oh.
Yeah, his owners. So they euthanized him. You know what I'm saying?
That was the thing
And they
for
would
them
do that to a lot of. They would do that to a lot of black males. So the
They
only
would
way
do
that you
that.
can't euthanize me. So what they do is just not put me in a position in their power structure. I just go get my own. When I'm a homosexual, there's all types of advantages for me.
Yeah.
That's when you go into. I don't care where you go.
But there's a lot
9
more
out of
to
10
that
when you
too,
see a
right?
black man in power, out here appointed to some position, it's homosexual. You going to and you. I mean, have you noticed? You know
No,
what
I've
I mean?
noticed a little bit. Yeah.
In
yeah.
the
Especially
workforce,
a lot
it's
in
not that
Hollywood
we're not
and
putting in for
things.
jobs.
Yeah.
It's not like the guys that want to have a woman in the family want to put in for jobs. It's that we're going to reward you for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what gay is the new black. No, what the fuck is not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Homosexuals been around for
yeah,
thousands and thousands
and black people been around before that became a thing. Black people been here, but that's neither here nor there. But you're just absolutely correct with the agenda. They reward you for it.
Yeah.
The heterosexual.
I think it's like a less threatening thing. It's like, well, like, oh.
How am I homophobic?
Well, he won't take my woman.
How am I homophobic
I don't know,
and
I
not
don't know.
pro-hetero?
Yeah.
How am I not pro-heterosexual? How am I homophobic? Why do I have to have a fear?
Oh no, that's also the thing. Like, I think the word homophobic is actually incorrect. Like, like it's not. I don't think
I don't
people
got
are.
no problem
I'm
with
not
you
afraid of gay people. Like,
I don't want
honestly,
what
I
you're
have gay
doing.
friends.
Push
I'm
on me.
not
I got
like.
they cool.
Yeah.
Just don't be trying to make me or don't be trying to put those images in my children's heads too
Yeah.
early and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's my beat.
Yeah.
So, but they'll call that a phobia.
Yeah.
When it's actually the.
It's
But we ain't got to go
political
down that rabbit
No,
hole too
yeah,
far.
But
yeah,
I'll make
yeah.
a point there. That's called political propaganda.
Of course
and
it
there's
is.
several
They know that.
arenas of it.
That's what we talking
Yeah.
about.
And
Like
going back to
linguists,
the-
yeah,
going
language
back to
just
the point
using the
you made
words.
earlier about these communities, these black communities being opportunity zones. For example, if you take
That's
away
other. I feel like
take away our
if what you're
resources,
saying, like
you
opportunity
take away
zones.
Food,
Yeah.
you have a malnutrition people. When it's time to go to war, we too weak to fight.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
We can't even think. Our stress
Well,
levels
that's why
are-
the like the FDA like at the bottom of the pyramid. I think it's a lot of reasons, but like not just for profit, but like at the FDA, like their number one food recommendation is like bread and seed oils at the bottom. Like you should be eating the most of that. I don't know if there's like I think like the conscious reason is for money, but I also think there's an unconscious reason. It's like, well, people are weak, then you can do whatever you want with them. You know what I mean? That they want to have a bunch of answers they can control. You know what I mean? And I
that was
think
my
that
point.
like
In
yeah,
that
and then the
movie,
divide
it's
and
like
conquer
The
aspect.
group of grasshoppers were 8 to 10.
Yeah.
That's the 1% we're talking about. We're talking
Yeah.
about the Rothschilds. We're talking about the Bloombergers. We're talking about the bankers. We're talking about the Jews.
Go
We're
ahead.
talking about the power structure.
There you go.
You know, and it has been a cycle, a continuous cycle. And it's systematic. They don't care about the human life. You have to care about the human life. And the whole concept of divide and conquer, because when we do come together, they know we outnumber them.
Yeah.
They're afraid of
And
us.
that's their second fear here. That's
That
their
part.
second fear here. But they don't know if they keep stirring the pot, which I hope don't happen. You already know you got 15 to 20,000 Haitian here, you know.
Yeah.
But don't forget that we're here too.
Yes.
We're here too. So those Nazis can come if they want to. They can come if they want to. But we're here too. And like I said, they're my cousins. We're one boat stop away.
Right.
Kumbaya.
It's the same Earth. Ain't nobody come from a different Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the globe done been covered a few times. Everybody's been everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We
For
are
real.
the world. We are the
Man.
children.
The
Kumbaya.
illusion is that we're not connected.
Yeah.
The goal is to lock
You know what I
arms.
mean? That's the illusion. Everybody connected.
We're from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Believe
She
it or
has a
not,
point.
we are from beginning of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I hear people hollering, well, we were here first, we were here. No. Open a book and read history, because you were not here first.
It is
You
his
evolved
story.
here, but you were not here first. I had a guy down at the city council meeting. Oh, I wanted to holler so bad, because when we had gotten into it, the mayor had to break us up and everything. The mayor had to come between that same man that came in last minute, and the woman that was walking around the building. We had got into it. And after he came back the next week talking about, well, I'm part Indian, so I was here first. I wanted to tell him so bad, you ain't nothing but a $5 Indian. Just
Right.
a $5. Your people done bought their papers,
Yeah, they
because
purchased them
Indians were
papers.
black. Indians were black.
Yeah.
But I left him alone. I didn't want to smack him too hard. I left him alone.
Wait, what do you mean? Like Indian from India? And you're saying that he?
An Indian from America.
Oh,
He was
sorry.
a $5 Indian from America.
Wait, what's a $5 Indian?
Bought your paperwork.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what it is.
Remember the Trail of Tears?
Uh-huh.
Remember when they were giving reparations to the Native Americans?
Yeah.
They were allowing them to become Native Americans for $5.
For $5,
All they had to do was learn
papers.
certain rituals and backgrounds and everything to be able to do the rituals, and now you're a Cherokee.
Uh-huh.
I never.
And now a
knew
white man can be a
that. I've
Cherokee.
never heard that
And
word.
now you got David Carradine and shit.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? No
Yeah.
no diss.
Uh-huh.
You feel me though? Because they might have been raised up and been good people after that and all. We ain't gonna take that from them.
I ain't
But
gonna take that
a
from
$5
them.
Indian is when you
$5
paid
Indian.
for your papers to be Indian so you could get Native American reparations.
That's
So
crazy.
you could get the
Our
land.
identity.
Because it's the
Yeah,
people,
no,
it's the same people that the treaties were made with that made these laws. So it's them.
There you go.
It's the same people that promised the reparations to us that said it to where their people could become Native Americans. So they made sure a disproportionate amount of white people got Native
Got the
American
land.
land and are
Got the
sitting
land.
over top of reservations and everything to this day. You know what I mean?
We just property
For
in
real.
the state.
Yeah,
That's how
that's
it
it.
happens.
That's
You know what I
it.
mean? The same way, look,
We're still
we,
not
I was
written as
trying to
humans.
get, I was
We're
trying to get
humans.
money during COVID for my business.
Talk about it.
There are white guys who we know that was trying to help us, who they were beating down their doors to say, take this $80,000, take this $100,000, please take it, because they were trying to make sure that the funds were dispersed already, so they could just deny you on that. We saw firsthand. I saw it. I had the paper trail and everything I needed to make sure that I got the money properly. I ain't worked for nobody since 2012. You know what I mean? So I had the paper trail. I had everything set up right. I got proof of being in business. Everything I would have
I have
needed.
people who got money who
And
don't have
I got
businesses,
and I got the minute amount when I could really prove it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know a guy that was turning it down that they kept calling. While I'm applying, this guy's turning it down.
We
A
got
few of them
zero.
turning it down.
We got denied based on
Got
demographic.
denied.
What's
We
that?
got denied based on our credit. This is grant funding.
It's grant funding.
That
We're
makes
real
sense.
business owners.
And it was COVID, and it was due to COVID. So none of that applied.
But our neighbors
It wasn't
got
a-
10, 20, 50,000.
And it wasn't even due to my credit because I had enough business transactions. I had enough to prove
They
everything.
barely had his first name.
Well, I had a separate business, was in the military, and was opening up this third business and couldn't get a loan because they said I wasn't married. I needed to be married. That was the excuse, but they ran me
And
around.
that's a lot.
I know it, but they ran me around for a solid year before they said that. Before
Loopholes.
they said, you know what? I told them that's okay. I'll get it. That's just what I told them. I'll get it. It might not be as big as I wanted it, but I get it, and I got it.
Mhm.
We talking about a separation of degrees, man.
So yeah.
So go read that book. She closed her book to be here.
Yeah, but
That's
cat-
funny.
but
I
cats
didn't,
and dogs.
I didn't read your shirt yet. That's so funny. It's exactly what you
Yeah, I
to be.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's a lot easier to put a spotlight on cats and dogs than all that shit you just heard.
That's true.
It
That's
is.
true.
It is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
honestly, we can be thankful of
For
that.
them
just
cats
for
and
the-
dogs
yeah,
that got
yeah,
you here.
Yeah,
Shit.
exactly. Right.
The crazy shit got you
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Frankly,
Kudos to you for
better
stepping out of your
stories.
comfort zone.
Oh, I
Even
mean,
though you may think that you're naive, it takes grit to get out and put yourself in the core and the center, of where and what's happening.
thank you. Yeah. Well, you guys made it easy. Honestly,
You
you
just walk
guys
down the
are.
street and
Yeah.
you say hello
Yeah.
to the right people.
Yeah. No, and right. Yeah. It's
You're
like,
kind
yeah.
and respectful about it.
Most definitely.
Thank
What
you.
you didn't know, you now know. So go do something.
I will.
And I really,
Thank you.
I really
I'll send you that
appreciate
article so you
trying
can
to
see that
ask us
accident.
questions.
Please, no. Honestly, I don't have like I don't have like any money right now because I just drove here from Texas and my car like broke down on the way, so I just bought like a new car.
Shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying it. I took over my friend's payments, whose room I took
You
over
just
and
doing some
shit.
shit. It worked. Hey, whatever the fuck happened.
Exactly. And I should probably start driving home soon because one of the headlights is out, and so it's like
Yeah,
not something I
yeah,
should be
brother.
driving when it's
We
dark.
got, we got contacts, so if there's anything else.
All right, yeah. All right, cool. All
Did
right.
you have
Anything
to
else
say,
you
Miss
need?
Marcy? You just said
Yeah.
something.
Sorry.
I'm fine.
All right. Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah, I can probably. Yeah, I think
Are
we
you gonna
I think
be
we
here
got it.
long interviewing, or are you getting ready to leave town, or?
Oh yeah, after this, honestly, I was gonna
We gotta
interview more
go
people, but
home.
I think
My man got one
I got what I need.
Okay,
Like honestly,
okay,
this is.
yeah.
I mean, I would love to come back.
Man, holla at me.
Probably soon. I have to see what my gas money is gonna be.
You
Like,
stay up with me, bro.
literally,
Just
like.
we'll stay in contact, man.
Okay, yeah. And like, so yeah, I'd love to come back and like interview more people, or we could talk again, like honestly about whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be cool.
I was
Yeah,
going to
man.
invite you
Strength
down to
ain't
the
that
city
bad.
commission meeting because
They just
it's
replaced the
really
water
When's the
line.
next one?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. I could probably do. I'll check my schedule at work, but I can probably request off, and we can go together.
If you want to.
Do they let you bring cameras in?
They
Not too worried about it.
have been, but I don't know if they will with all this going on.
Okay.
Yeah, there been bomb threats at the schools every day. My
Really?
daughter's been home for 3 days. I ain't
That's the
let her
problem
go.
with it getting like
At
national
all the
attention.
schools. I mean,
Yeah.
once it went national, and you got all these white supremacist cells.
Yeah.
All it did was just turn all their attention to Springfield, Ohio.
Exactly.
There's people on the road on the highway headed here right now. You can guarantee it.
Yeah.
Getting hotel rooms, riding around with their little ammunition, pump faking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Deciding whether they really gonna squeeze your trigger. Now, right now, I guarantee it. Don't know the difference between me and a Haitian.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
probably don't care.
No.
Yeah.
Whatever
For
popular
real.
black, it's either go back to Africa, go back to
Yeah.
Haiti, whatever
Yeah.
country they hating on at the time. All of y'all from there. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
know what,
Yeah.
what
All
really
y'all
strikes
from
me
there.
funny too is even downtown when they were doing the interviews, these different TV channels was coming in. If you were a black that lived here, they didn't want.
they didn't want to talk to you. They
But
didn't
wait
want
a
the
minute,
real.
They would walk up to you and ask you if you were Haitian, and if you said no, I was born here, I live here. Oh, okay, bye.
We want
You
to talk
know.
to the Haitians, white people have a problem with the
Yeah,
Haitians.
this shit you getting, they don't want you. They didn't want you. You ran into the right motherfucker because this is the stuff
They don't.
that
They
they don't
wanna
want you
know.
talking about. They don't even want
us
you
to
opening
say
this
how
can
we
up
No,
against
I
you.
like
guys.
this. Yeah.
They want you running into somebody to want to say, yeah, I seen him eating one, man. It was crazy.
Yeah.
They want you running into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I almost didn't go because I saw one video on the internet someone already did. It had like 4 million views or something like that, and it was he interviewed Haitians and like pretty much just like a lot of white people saying that like I see they got vans picking up dogs.
They doing the fucking work.
I seen it
They
myself.
got
Came
vans
up,
because they carpool.
yeah.
They got, what the fuck would you do if you
Yeah.
had 10 people living in your house and all y'all work at the same place?
Yeah.
Work in the van.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you look up a couple months later and everybody got cars.
Everybody got cars.
Yeah.
That's just the way it went. They put
Yeah.
their
And
money
then a couple
together.
more months